don't even know half the shit that Gabbie has probably done. I profusely apologize to Jen Dent for platforming Alyssa in any way, The work that we do on here, I think, is a little bit unfair to say, though, that I shouldn't respond to things so quickly or, should take the time to look into things, because I don't understand what people want when they say that I'm covering things too quickly, but then whenever I'm not quickly responding to this, people are saying that I'm running from the truth.
Yeah.
Jen, I'm unbelievably sorry for what Alyssa put you through. It's absolutely horrendous and absolutely horrible. And I have no idea truly the extent of what you've gone through, because I'm going to be watching your video now here. I'm taking the time to watch your video. And I literally have said that multiple times, that I wanted to take the time to cover this properly.
Okay, let's do this. Let's watch and talk about the HelloLeesh and Jen Dent response to Adam. It's been 5 days that I want to talk about this video, both the videos. I don't know why why YouTube says that HelloLeesh's video was published 5 days ago, or maybe the hours. Yeah, because they are both from the 11th of July, but one video says it's been published 5 days ago, the other one 4 days ago. But since I'm stupid, I just realized it. Okay, I have just about an hour-ish before my dog starts to bother me because he wants to go outside. So yeah, let's do this. Let's watch it. I didn't watch these videos. First things first. One is 36 minutes, 37, and the other one is like about 7 minutes. So this one, we're going to watch the longest one first. Also because I think this one was published first, and it's the answer, kinda, I don't know, from HelloLeesh to Adam McIntyre. I didn't watch this video. So the things I'm going to talk about in this video, the things I'm going to say, are just my opinion. Please don't go spread. I know that you're smart. I know. You 5 people watching my video. Love you. Subscribe, do the YouTube things, because did you saw that I have a bunch of videos in Premiere? So they are going to be published in the next days. Dude, talk about I don't know, programming, scheduling, it's in English. Okay. So yeah, do the YouTube things if you want. If you don't want, fair. Love you anyway. Okay. Ready, steady, go.
Hi, welcome to my new kitchen. I'm having a very bad hair day. This was going to be a reel. I took just a few notes. This is obviously by the title, I'm sure you can tell it's a video about Adam McIntyre. But as soon as I started getting through just a few notes that I have, I was already over 3 minutes. I was like, I guess this is going to be another off-the-cuff YouTube video with no editing, which, to be honest with you, the last time I did that, it was quite nice because I got everything off my chest and didn't have to do anything with it except upload it, and
yeah, no, everything is
and then I was
beautiful.
done with it. And I think I just need to do that more because I was starting to do this. It's the same thing I did with Alyssa's video. I started to do with Adam's.
Just an FYI, I didn't watch the video before this one. I believe it was the one where she addresses the Jen Dance video, so I didn't watch that one. So we're going to go into this blindly. Let me know if I need to watch the other one.
Like, this is what I want to see from his videos, and then posting to my IG stories, and it's just a lot of text, and just aesthetically it's gross, and then it just makes me, I don't know, I feel messy where I could just be putting my thoughts out into a video, which is why I started this channel in the first place.
I agree.
Because I have opinions. That's just my opinion.
Same.
Anyway, yeah, so I want to say first and foremost, I don't dislike Adam. Doesn't matter if his fans are watching this, they're not gonna like that. But I also don't think I like him at the same time. I think he's fine. There have been times where I've watched his videos because I do think for his age, he's got some very insightful things to say. And I do think he's smart. At the same time, and I think I'll talk about this a little bit more a little later, but at the same time, I don't think he realizes because of his age, I don't think he realizes what he doesn't know, if that makes sense. And yeah, let me get into that later. So, and I've got something in my eye, so I'm so sorry if I'm like messing with it.
I hate that.
Basically, yeah, I just saw, of course, you know, the whole situation. If you didn't know, Alyssa Perrine, ex-Gabbie fan, put out a video talking about their experience in the Gabbie Hanna fandom, but then really did not speak to any of the damage that she and her friends caused as a part of that fandom, as a part of that community, that cult, whatever you want to call it. And the first two people that I saw react to that video were Adam McIntyre and Vangelina Scoff. Vangelina's video I watched first, and it was like, it was clear that she didn't know who Alyssa was. But
I wanted to make this point into, I don't remember which one of the videos that I already filmed, but I said no, that's for this video here. So I'm going to let her finish, and then because I really want to understand her chain of thoughts, and then I'm going to give you my opinion.
Also was still had this like, I don't want to say like a seed of doubt, but just like had this this like held space for skepticism or just critical thought, or just like, I need a little bit more information around about this person in order to like make an assessment, right? And she even said like something along the lines of like, I feel for what, you know, this person went through, but I noticed that she didn't really like take accountability for things. It's just something like that, right? You probably saw the video if you're watching this. Adam's video on the
Sorry to cut her off. My video is already out. I watched first Jen Dent's video and second one Alyssa's video, which honestly, by listening to what happened to Vangelina and Adam, I thought it was the best option. I didn't know both Alyssa and and also Jen Dent. Like for Jen Dent, I knew just one thing about her. Well, maybe two. She's a friend with Jessi Smiles, and that she was allegedly, 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 should I say what? She was wrongfully accused of something really, really, really bad back in the past. And so yeah, this is just, and from everything was all this information were from Jessie Smiles video, Gabbie Hanna Will Never Stop, that I also watched and made a video. Now it's important to address one thing before we start this. It's important to understand that both videos of Angelina, what? Vangelina Scoff are still up. And I didn't watch those, honestly. So I first wanted to make all the videos and then go back and watch all the, like the people that I follow, Angelina, Peter, Monn, Fat Sajak, and Adam McIntyre opinions, in order to not make my opinions like it's not me, like I don't get any influences from, but still I wanted to have like pure thoughts, if this makes sense. I don't think so, but still. So both videos of Vangelina Skov are still on, or it's just, yeah, both, yes, both videos. And for Adam McIntyre, he usually, it's important to address that. So since I follow Adam and I like his content, but as I said in the other, sorry, I ate a carrot and that carrot is making me barfing. What was this? Oh yeah. I follow Adam. I really like Adam. I really think I'm on the same line as HelloLeesh. Besides the last phrase, like she said, since he's too young, he spoke about things that he doesn't know, something along those lines, and maybe it's true, but also same thing that I said on the Gen Dance video. To be a drama channel, to be someone who shares the pop like opinions on pop culture, whatever. I believe you can do that. You can do your researches, etc. But I think also it's really amazing to watch some videos online with just sharing opinion, just that, and then maybe go back, do research more researches, and then see how your opinions changes and change not changes change, and how maybe in the next video that you will do, I do agree that maybe not everything should be shared, but also there's been many occasions in the past where people made videos and then the opinion of all the audience watching changed, such as the Joshua David Evans video, which I made it. It's 6 hours, dude, 6 hours. It's a full saga. And so it's important, I think, I know that these videos are on somebody else's life, both Alyssa, both Jen Dent. And I know that, and I want to state it as a fact. As same thing that I said in my video on Jen Dent. I'm really sorry for both of them, honestly. I'm really happy about just one thing, that Jen Dent and Gracie were able to overcome everything that went wrong in the past. But it's important to address that what Adam did, usually he'd go, not usually, mostly every time, he goes on live streams. Obviously, while live streaming, you cannot edit in that moment, but you can unpublish like the live stream and stuff like that on Twitch. Another thing that he does, he clips videos from the live stream and then he posts those videos, usually without editing. Usually, maybe if he goes to the bathroom, he edits that. This is the second thing. The third thing is that he made the video. I didn't watch the video, I didn't watch the live stream, so I don't know his takes. I know about all this from other people. And then he took down the video. As I said in Jen Dent's video, usually Adam never takes down videos unless it's something really serious, or usually what he does, he makes follow-up video where he I don't know, shows more proof, more whatever, and says, this is why I changed my opinion, usually. Now, the fact that he took down, I know, the fact that he took down the video is already something. It's important also to address that I believe that during that time, he was, how do you call VidCon, sorry. He was at VidCon, so he said that for 1-2 weeks, he would have been like not making videos, something like that, along those lines. So it's important to keep all these things in mind, not because I want to defend. We are adults, as I always say, we can all defend ourselves. You don't need warriors that go to the war for you. It's important to say this. Now I'm going to let her talk.
On the other hand, and I said this in mine, that I only watched about 5 minutes of his video because in that time it was, like I said, it was very much like, first of all, mistook Alyssa's age, which is a mistake that people can make. At the end of the day, I'm going to say this is not that fucking big of a deal. It doesn't need to be anyway. For Adam, it's a bigger deal for other people. But just kind of like, okay, thinking that she's younger than she is, she being Alyssa, and I kind of characterized his attitude as kind of being like, oh, you little baby child, baby, I feel so bad for you because you're just a baby and you didn't know what you were doing, or you just got caught up, you're a victim of circumstance. And I would say, like, in a way, she is, like, isn't everybody, I guess. But and the thing is, like, it irritated me because it didn't examine Alyssa's video at all in the lens that I think it needed to be. But I understand, like, it's a human error. That just meant I needed to turn off his video. And then he took it down. And then a lot of people were commenting and saying, like, and I saw the comments on your video, Adam. I imagine you're probably seeing this, or somebody's told you about it. Maybe, I don't know. But the comments were,
yeah, he still didn't react to this. I don't know if, honestly, if he's going to. He has a show in Canada. So I don't know if he's going to react to this video, but it's also important to say another thing, which is something that it's not an excuse. It's not a way, like a free pass over everything. No, but it's important to say that if the age of this person was misunderstood by mostly everyone, because I also was a little bit confused about the age stuff, and luckily I watched Jen Dent's video first. So it's important to say that everybody, mostly, like most of the audience, mistook the age of Alyssa first. Second, it's important to say, really important to say, that Adam was a victim too. And this is why, in my opinion, I think he empathized with this person. And I'm not saying it's right, I'm not saying it's wrong, but when you have a background, for example, I was bullied growing up, or I was like harassed on a train, let's say. It's true, not let's say. If I have in front of me a person that I don't know, their story, nothing, but they tell me, oh, I went through this, or I just I'm just talking about something, and they're talking about something that resonates with me, such as bullying, such as harassment, such as sexual abuse. I will automatically put myself in a kind of a softer spot for them. Obviously, I will be really hyper vigilant. I will be like, okay, this person, it's giving me this information. Now I need to understand more, obviously. But I understand why you connect in some way to a person that it's telling you something that you lived, that you experienced. So it's important also to say this. It's not like, oh, they're a little baby, they're whatever. I think this is a misconception, honest, in my opinion. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Also, I didn't watch this freaking video, so I'm just talking about things that I watched by watching Adam. Again, I do not agree with everything he says or does, because uh, we are people, everybody's different, whatever. But this is the major thing that I believe it's kind of true. I don't know.
we're all like, because I when I saw it, I was shocked, and I was like, am I the only person in the world? Me and Jen Dent and Amber and Cassie are like, are we the only people in the world that think that Alyssa's terrible and know who she is and all of that? And then I saw the comments. The comments on Adam's video were very much like, Adam, you got this wrong. Like, this person was the worst. And
I'm sorry for that, honestly, because to be for the 100th time for what they always, oh man, they always were the people, like I called them the enemies of Gabbie Hanna, so therefore they were the enemies of the Gabbie Hanna stance, and they were always in the wrong, kinda, for them. So I understand, after many years, to see someone that goes beyond, goes against, sorry, beyond what, goes against the truth, your truth, and you all, what you all experienced. I understand that it's frustrating. It's like, also the fact that it's important also that we weren't in the fandom, like, same thing of Angelina. Maybe she had a vibe on her while watching the video. Maybe she had something, which is the same exact thing that happened to me while watching the video. Because besides the informations that Jen Dent shared, I can tell you that by watching Alyssa's video, I was like, they're not telling something. There's something that they're beating around all the bushes, not one, all the bushes. And there's something really, really wrong there. So I can tell you that maybe Evangelina had, in my opinion, an intuition, and maybe Adam didn't because of his history. And I'm really, really sorry that the Adam's take made you and Jeanette and other people feel like, damn, are we going through this again? Like, shit, everybody knows this person. So I'm really, really sorry for that, honestly.
A little bit. I did not get enough sleep last night.
Oh, same.
So the comments were very much like along the same lines, in the same tone as my video and Jen's subsequent videos, Cassie's video, and some other videos that other people put out after the fact. And then, of course, it should be noted that that Evangelina Skov did come back and make another video kind of clarifying what she didn't know.
Maybe this is why I called her Evangelina something. Maybe my brain knew that, remembered her name. I'm sorry. A mix. Evangelina. Okay.
I thought wasn't entirely necessary. I think that she'd done enough. I wasn't upset with her, but still very much respect the hell out of what she did decide to do. Adam, on the other hand, took his video down, and a lot of people were saying like he needs to come back and apologize, and he needs to acknowledge that he was wrong. And I didn't know if I agreed completely, because again, it doesn't need to be that big of a deal for Adam. We're not talking about Gabbie Hanna directly. This is some nobody. I'm sorry, Alyssa. This is a nobody who thinks she's kind of famous.
Oh boy. Okay.
But at the same time, I think if you are gonna take a video down just like out of nowhere, kind of just be like, put out a community note, right? Something that just says like, hey guys, like I apparently made a video and I granted way too much grace and mercy to somebody who apparently didn't need it. I didn't know it. Don't even need to say sorry. I've said that already, I think. I'm gonna say it a couple of times. You didn't even need to say sorry. Just say like, hey, I took this down because I got it wrong. Apparently you guys informed me. Thank you for letting me know that this person is a really shitty person. A lot of people use language like good person, bad person. I don't use language like that, but I think I'll try to if it's necessary. But I'll say that if she's a shitty person, I'll say that. And of course, people complained that he was not responding, not commenting, not posting about this. And aside from the fact that I don't think that was entirely necessary of him, I do understand he was traveling at VidCon and things like that. I get it, right. I do. But then when he came back, I saw, people were like, oh, he's posted about it. And I was like, great, let's see what he has to say. Like, did he see the videos about Alyssa? Has he commented on how he was wrong? And then he said he took the video down. He took the video down because Alyssa was essentially, just paraphrased, lapping up the clout on TikTok and being like, in his words, look who's on, or she was on TikTok, he said, saying, look who's got 50K views on Adam McIntyre's channel, and that he was just like, no girl, I'm not having this, and took it down. And I thought, I could see him being petty enough to take it down just so that this person doesn't enjoy it, but if you're on her side and she's just some little victim, what's the problem with her enjoying a little bit of clout? Like it was a weird reason, in my opinion, to take down an entire video. On a new topic that people were about to start talking about, that by that time people were talking about. It just something didn't seem right to me. And
I think I was thinking about this. Sorry, sometimes I buffer. In Jen Dent, in her video, she said that because of, and this is, I think that sometimes we just need to hear everybody and then connect the dot. I think, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Jen Dent in her video said something along the line of, now that Adam made this video siding with Alyssa, they now think that, by the way, I think Alyssa goes with the they pronoun, but still. Now that Adam sided with them, I think that this gave them all the spotlight. It brought the spotlight on them, and they are enjoying finally this new popularity. Let's say that it's what they all wanted to, like they always wanted that. And I think that Adam, by saying I took the video down because they were enjoying this popularity on my expenses, on my back. I think this resonates in his head to say, no, you're not going to share the fact that I was on your side. I'm going to flip the narrative here. I think maybe I'm wrong.
In the few minutes that I did watch, he apologized to Jen in like a very like flowery sounding apology, in so much as you can do in a few words, where he was basically like, I am so sorry to Jen Dent. But, and it's like, then he launches into this whole explanation about how he is, not really to blame, and like how he's like basically innocent, and he has all these reasons, just so defensive. And I have so many qualms with that. But yeah, it really didn't acknowledge, like, I love Jen. Jen is one of my friends, and if nothing else came out of that but an apology for him, basically discrediting her experience in a roundabout way, if that makes Jen feel better, great. Then good came out of that. But I also think that apology, it failed to acknowledge the totality of Alyssa's crimes. I use that word a lot, and I'm going to try to remember to use it every single time. Alyssa's crimes, particularly in the name of Gabbie Hanna or while in the Gabbie Hanna fandom. So it's not just me, it's not just Cassie, but we did make videos about it that were, passed around enough that bigger creators did see. So, and I'm not saying I wanted an apology. Didn't expect that. Don't even care really for it. I don't care for him to apologize at all. But like, to make your apology so specific to one person and then immediately backtrack on that by talking about how like, but I'm not to blame because, like, are you really apologizing to Jen? Again, she's the only person who gets to decide whether or not that was valid. But in my mind, to my eyes and my ears, it just didn't seem like a real apology to anybody. And again, you don't need to make an apology, but if you're going to make one, make a real one. Don't just immediately defend yourself.
I'm going to spit this out.
Like I said, like I would have been satisfied by just hearing like, oops, got it wrong. I was wrong about that person. It really doesn't need to be that big a deal. I know, I'm sorry, I've said that a lot.
Okay, if this is the truth, as I said, I didn't watch the videos, and I don't know about the excuse, like the apology, sorry. But if this is the truth, I always says to everybody, anybody, everyone, that an apology followed by a but is not an apology. So everything that comes before the but, it's not true. So this goes obviously for Adam, for everyone. So if this happened, I'm going to do my researches, maybe on this video, I don't know. Yeah, that's not fair. Also, I believe that honestly, if he left up that video and made another video fixing the mistakes and the misconceptions and the things that were not that he didn't know before, I think that it would have been better, because same goes for maybe not totally, because I don't know, I didn't heard Vangelina Scott was siding with Alyssa. I heard that she was like saying, yeah, I'm sorry for them, blah, blah, blah. But then at the end, she was like reading, I believe, the comments or something. And she was like, from say these things are in Jen Dent's video. So I believe that leaving the video up would have been better, because every time that you post something and you take that something down, when you have that much following, it's always looked in a suspicious way, always. um Same thing goes like for the apologies, for everything. We know that if you unlist the video, it's the end. People are going to talk. So yeah, this is my take on this. I'm going to put 1.5, otherwise my attention span will go away. Not for her, my brain.
Already. But I just saw in a leaked live stream, I guess I don't know, I took it down. I don't know. Somebody sent it to me, and I'm going to check with that person to make sure it's okay that I talked about this, because I did not ask her if it was cool if I talk about this. But I saw, I guess from a few days ago, or I guess a week or two ago, he posted a live stream to his fans talking about why he took down that video. And in that live stream, he says that he took it down because people told him that he got it wrong about Alyssa. He said something along the lines of, people told me like, hey, you messed up, you got this wrong, da 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 da, and I thought, this is not my situation. I don't want to be a part of this. Like Jen said that I got it wrong. Sorry, my hair keeps like sticking out here. I don't want to be involved in this situation. It's not my situation. Apparently, I got it wrong, and so I took it down. So why is it that and honestly, this is not me like in a gotcha moment. This is me genuinely asking, why is it that to your fans you can give a very honest, humble, and self-aware explanation for why you took it down? Because you were wrong, and there was nothing wrong with you being wrong necessarily. You were mistaken about this person. Why is it that you can say that to your fans, to your close fans, but when you make a statement to the public after people have been calling for this, you say that it's because she was enjoying the attention too much? That doesn't make sense to me. And I wasn't going to speak to this because I don't personally feel this way. Like some people are saying, like, you need to do more research before you comment on the situation. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think as commentators, sometimes, and I know that Jessi and Lily on the Do We Know Them podcast have, I think they've said, or maybe it was Jessi's other podcast. Forget that I said Jessi. I know other people have said, like, it's not my job to dig into these stories and find out all the details and all of this. I'm just commenting on what I see on.
I gave my opinion on this in Jen Dent's video, and I stand by it. And honestly, I love, because dude, I just digged for the Joshua David Evans video, because I thought it was something that needed to be recapped and watched, and like the timeline, etc. It's important to do a background check on situations if you want to talk about them. But to watch a video, I do it many times. Maybe not on camera, but I have the idea to do it on camera, to just watch a video, react to the video, give my opinion, and then maybe after I will go and research and go into a rabbit hole and stay there for weeks. So yeah, I do agree with her on this.
On the internet. Maybe it was Peter Monn that said that. Peter definitely said something like that at some point, but that's how I feel. Like, somebody puts a video out, if I want to watch it and react to it, I will. And then I might find out later that there's more to the story, especially in the situation of somebody like Alyssa, because she's not anybody in the public sense. She's a private individual, so why would you necessarily know the background, the lore of Alyssa, if you weren't there with us, those who were kind of on the receiving end of all of the gabbie stan harassment and hate? You wouldn't really know. Even Evangelina Scott said she's made videos on Gabbie Hanna, and even she wasn't on the receiving end of this type of hate, so she didn't remember Alyssa. So I don't necessarily agree that like Adam should have done his research before talking about this. No, not necessarily, but you should be willing to be corrected. But the reason I do bring it up is because the person who sent this to me, hi, thank you, reminded me that he said that to Jessi and Lily with the whole, and of course that conversation has bubbled up again with the Joshua David Evans stuff, and I just want to say, I am not the person to talk to about the Joshua David Evans stuff. I'm sorry. There's something about that, not that story, but like that topic, the whole Colleen Ballinger saga is just not only in some, like, it's like 50% uninteresting to me and 50% skeeves me out. And so it's this weird, like, when people want to talk about it, I'm just like, change the subject. Please, let's change the subject.
I really like how she talks.
Anything valuable
She
to
should
have
do
a conversation, and I'm not interested
commentary.
in it, but also, like, I feel gross. And that's not to say that I think that what they did was gross necessarily. I just feel weird. I don't know. So yeah, so maybe talk to somebody else about that if you feel compelled to get into my DMs. But when it comes to the situation and the whole Johnny thing, and as a side note, I'm thinking about making videos about me talking about Adam like this could get me a lot of hate. But the thing is, I think that there are a good number of like beloved creators, especially in the commentary space, that are a little more problematic than they get credit for, and their time is coming, and I think it's kind of happening for Adam, and it's going to happen, in my opinion, for Swoop too. And I know a lot of, like, most people love her, more people love her than hate her, and I don't hate her, but the whole way that she handled the Johnny situation, I thought was a little bit weird, again, because we're dealing with a private person, even if they are in the wrong. I don't know that you should make a 3-hour documentary on...
What? Ma'am? I gave my opinion on Swoop in the Joshua David Evans video. I suggest you to go and look at that. I know it's 6 hours. Come on, you can do it. But yeah. Okay. I will let her finish.
How much of a shithead he is. In my defense and everybody else's, I don't remember the details of that story, but I do know that as a consequence of that situation, Jessi and Lily got a bunch of hate because they had just platformed Johnny, and I just think that was really unfair. And at what point is Swoop going to issue an apology to Jessi and Lily, or just the general audience who came at them for that situation, because they didn't know better? And like, when they talk about whether or not...
But it's the same thing happened to Adam, isn't? Like, they talked with Johnny about things that they didn't know, so they relied on Johnny's version. And Johnny said a bunch of bullshit, allegedly, a bunch of bullshit that he also went and did and said on the Swoop doc. So when Swoop explained same thing that happened with Jen Dent, this situation, and revealed all the proof and all the things that he did and said, whatever, this is when they had backlash. So it's the exact same thing. But why are you like, oh, they need to address the fact that, yeah, they were wrong and they had a lot of backlash. They need to be apologized. Is this just because, in my opinion, is this just because Jessie's your friend? Or are you looking at this in a objective? Do you say objective in English? I don't know. In a, unrelated matter, like, are you looking at this in the right way or as a friend way? Because this seems a little bit one-sided on Jessie Smiles' side. And no shade to Jessie Smiles, honestly. But to say, yeah, they need an apology because they had a lot of backlash. Same thing happened to Adam. He didn't know Alyssa. And as you said, Alyssa is not a popular person, let's say, a famous person. Johnny, for what was going through, he already had a kind of a fandom because of Colleen Ballinger. But then when the Swoop doc exploded, he had lots and lots of following on TikTok, on Twitter, on what was that? On YouTube too, because he made lots of YouTube videos. So he gained a lot of popularity, a lot of fame, kinda. So, and people knew about Johnny also from Adam, from Cody rants, for many, many people. So why is this okay if it happens to Jessi? I don't know. I had a bunch of names in my head. Well, I don't know. Jessi Smiles, but it's not okay if it happens to Adam. I don't understand. My opinion.
They'll do interviews again. They're really like, they kind of let people know, like, no, that's not our thing. We've tried that once and we're not going to do it again. But they don't really talk about like how traumatizing it was to be basically on the receiving end of the hate mob, which I might talk about my own hate mob from that time. Not that time, but like way before in 2020. So
I don't want to say that
at around that time,
Adam got a hate mob, but there's already a bunch of videos on this situation. So I don't know.
Adam was like saying to them, like, they should have done their research. You know, you should research more before you talk about this topic.
Oh, and by the way, I saw that it's here. You cannot see it. Wait. On the side here, I'm going to do this magic here. Oh, what? Okay, here. There's the Adam's video on this situation with Lily. Is she called Lily? Yeah, Lily. And Jessi, talking about addressing Jessi and Lily. They were right all along regarding Joshua David Evans. So if like if things are said and done in some ways, you can be polite enough to say, yeah, maybe they didn't know any better. And just, I don't want to say kind of move on, because it's bad, like, to move on, but maybe wait for the truth to come out, or maybe to give, same thing that I said in Jen Dent's video. You could have been the one to go to Adam. I don't understand this. If I watch a video about me and people are saying stupid shit about me, and it's kind of important, so nothing that I will let you go, like, whatever, it's something really, really important, I would be the one to address this. I would be like, I I would be the one to say, no, this is wrong. I will give you all the fact, all the proof, everything. I'm going to talk about that. And if you're not going to listen, I would make video, posts, whatever, in order for people to know. So I don't understand.
I think that's why I have the impression they said, like, we're not researchers, we're just commentators.
Yeah.
So, like, again, do I think people need to do all this research before they talk about this, that, and the other? Like, not necessarily, but hypocrisy really gets me, dude. Like, if you say that people should do this, but then you don't do it, and so you get upset when it's your turn, then you deserve to be called out for that. I need to sip on my Red Bull. I'm also standing on my tiptoes a little bit to be in frame, and it's, like, really, like, hurting my legs that are already too painful because I didn't sleep enough last night, which I said. So yeah, it kind of seems like it only matters when you're on the victim side of things, whether or not people do their research. And when it's you, it's like, guys, like, I didn't know any better. How could I have known better? Here's the thing, I'm on your side with that, but don't do that to other people. Or if you're going to do that to other people, and then it comes to be your turn, and you're like, oh, actually, I know what it feels like to have not done the research, or to not have known what research I was supposed to do, and correct yourself. Like, you're young, Adam. You're what, like 23? You're so young. You need to be prepared to say, I was wrong, or even just, my opinions have changed. And I think that as commentators, even I'm 40 years old, even at 40, and a lot of commentators are in their 30s, we still, like, in order to be a good commentator, you have to be a good critical thinker. And a good critical thinker is somebody who's constantly willing to examine their opinions and update their opinions as new information presents itself. So what I'm suggesting,
I have a big example of this. I remember that back when, I don't know when it changed honestly, because I didn't follow constantly back then. Not that I do now, honestly. But back when the Swoop doc was on, I remember that Adam, for example, had a different opinion of the H3 situation, H3 production, all the people on the H3. Or talking about Rosanna Pansino, or talking about Olivia. And I understand that when it's personal, it's different. But when he changed his opinion, when there were new things coming through, etc., he was the one saying, yeah, I changed my opinion because of this, and this. Maybe he gave proof, maybe he did. Also, you don't need to go to give proof because you change your opinion, but still, he talked about that. So we're not talking like, oh, he never does this. Also, the fact that she's talking about the age, dude, we just saw a 42 years old man acting like a child, like a high schooler, that was made wrong, and he was like, okay, I'm going to take revenge out of it or something. And honestly, for as long as I follow Adam, obviously there are times where he talks about, in a way, or says something that I do not agree on. But I believe that for his age, he's pretty on everything that needs to be addressed. Like, he has life experience already. Obviously, there are things that you need to learn. You're not done until the last day, honestly. But to say, yeah, you don't know any better because you're young, I hate it. I hate it. I always hate it. I will always hate this phrase, personally, in my opinion, because everybody was talking to me like that. But then they were saying, oh, you're just so mature for your age. Fuck off. Fuck off. I know that I'm mature. I know that I have opinion. Obviously, if I'm wrong, if I go and do something wrong, I'm the one that needs to correct that. So maybe the thing that he needs to work on, in my opinion, is the addressing the things, addressing the backlash in a quicker way and in a smarter way, in my opinion. But he showed us many times that he has a lot of skills, and I don't like when people reduce everything to age, because if we reduce everything to age, I have many people that I can show you that they are old enough to be wiser and to be smarter and they are the dumbest person on earth. So please, let's not go there. Okay, my opinion.
Adjusting to Adam is something that is recommended for everybody, but I think being so young, it's so difficult. It's so difficult. Like, I know people love to talk about your frontal lobe developing, and they think that on your 25th birthday it's like gifted to you from God. No, it's something that develops over time, and that's just an approximate age. Fun fact, from what I understand, that's more for female brains. Male brains are like closer to 28. But that's all to say that I think it's just really hard for young people to accept any kind of criticism. So, I think that's what turns a small situation into something big. I think I'm losing light. Ugh. What time is it? It's 8 o'clock, exactly on the dot. So yeah, I think my one of my issues with Adam is kind of the inability just to say I've updated my opinions due to new information. That's it. And it doesn't need to be some huge affront to your character and your content and your mind and your thinking and your platform and your content. Like, it doesn't need to be all that. It can be part of your process that, like, sometimes people correct me, or sometimes people educate me, or sometimes people, teach me more, or sometimes people change my view of this thing, and sometimes my opinion, like, starts to twist and turn a little bit. And I don't see that from him. But at the same time, I'm telling myself, look at how old he is. Like, that, it's probably more common to be the way he is than not. But my concern is that being as successful as he is, what is going to be the incentive to check yourself more? If you're this young and this successful at what you do, I feel like this is going to sound really dramatic, but like the humbling process, the rock bottom, whatever that thing is, the consequences that lead you to change the way you do things, is that, think of it as a bottom. Please forgive my dramatic metaphor or metaphor. What's the other word I was in? Analogy. There it is. I can't let it go unless I find it. But that bottom becomes lower the bigger your ego is. So, like, somebody who is really, like, frequently questions their own beliefs and, like I said, re-examines what they believe and what they know, and they take information from other people, and they're fluid in their opinions, and they allow their opinions to change. That bottom, that point that they hit where they have to reconsider what they've already stated they believe to be true, that's a higher, it's higher. They don't have to fall so far to go, oh, actually, maybe I was wrong about that.
Honestly, if you watch just one blog from Adam, I believe that you are going to say, "Oh, damn, this person questions everything." I believe the only thing that he doesn't question are his dogs and his cat. Honestly, but I understand this chain of thought, but I don't agree with the you are young, therefore you need to be to check yourself more, and you need to learn it now, because this implies that if you are older, you don't need to check yourself, you don't need to question yourself. No, I don't like it. And also, I really don't like when the age comes into the thing, because it's, yeah, no, I don't like this thing.
this, or maybe I feel differently about this, but the bigger your ego is, the less you're willing to be flexible, the less your opinions are elastic, and so that bottom becomes lower, and you're gonna have to fall very far in order to change your mind about things, or publicly admit that you changed your mind. Because Adam, you did change your mind. You changed your mind enough to take the video down, but you can't publicly just say why you did it. That to me is so wild. Like, and I'm sorry, but it just, like, it says so much to me about your character, and I don't think that means you have a shit character. I don't think you're a bad person at all. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, in terms of your teachability as a person and as a commentator, it's a bad look. It's a bad look to do one thing, and then it appears that you're doing the right thing, and then you tell people that it was for some other random reason. She was enjoying the cloud on TikTok. But then in private, tell people that, no, like, the real reason is, like, people corrected me. That should have been a public statement, friend. But what else was I going to say? But the kind of, what was honestly, like, just way more irritating than that to me was what he keeps saying people, the response to his video was. In the live stream that I saw, he kept saying, yeah, people were saying that I'm protecting Gabbie Hanna. And then I told my friend, people are saying I'm protecting Gabbie Hanna. And she was like, that's just how people are going to be. And then in this leaked live stream or whatever I saw, he's like, yeah, people are telling me Gabbie Hanna's a bad person, and you need to know that Gabbie Hanna's a bad person, because you don't know that Gabbie Hanna's a bad person. She's a bad person, and you need to know that Gabbie's a bad person. And it's like, guys, like, I know. And it's like, Adam, that's not what people are saying. And the thing is, when people do this thing, and I think everybody knows what I'm talking to when I say this, I think maybe one person said that somewhere, and so you pick up on it and you latch to it tight, because that's one person that's being unreasonable. That's one person being kind of ridiculous, and so you latch onto it to say, this is how the audience is responding to me. Isn't this ridiculous? Because it is ridiculous, but that's not what your audience was saying. As far as what I saw, unless I was on a completely different side of the internet, but I saw people saying, if you were there, you knew who Alyssa was. Alyssa's the worst. Adam, you need to learn more about the situation, because this Alyssa person is not somebody you want to be siding with. Adam, this Alyssa person is an adult and was the whole time. They were an adult back then. Adam, stop relating to.
Honestly, I won't talk about this because I don't have any feedback. Like, I didn't saw any comments, or as I said, I didn't saw the video, so I don't know what people were saying. Maybe I don't know if they said it on Reddit or whatever. I didn't saw it, honestly, so I won't talk about it.
To this person, Adam, you need to take this down. Adam, you need to issue an apology. Adam, you were wrong about Alyssa. You were wrong about Alyssa. You were wrong about Alyssa. The comments were not about Gabbie Hanna, not in relation to Adam and his video. And so to be like, people were saying I'm protecting Gabbie Hanna, maybe somebody did, maybe 3 people did, but you had enough feedback from the general audience to know what they were generally saying, and you failed. You failed to acknowledge that. And same goes for when you're like, people are saying that Gabbie's a bad person. Like, I don't know that. It's like, no, that's not what people are saying. And honestly, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just completely missed it, and people are going to send me 1,000 screenshots of people saying this in Adam's comments and in his DMs and stuff, and then I will stand corrected, because it's just how we need to be able to be. You're presented with new information, you change your opinion. So in my opinion, the comment sections and the fodder online was all about how Adam got it wrong about Alyssa. Let's not get it wrong. It wasn't about Gabbie. It was about Alyssa. So, and I said, like, this doesn't need to be a big deal, and of course, like, I'm putting a video out, but that's just because I'm opinionated. I've had these little opinions, these micro opinions about each step of the process, and this happened, and now Adam's saying this, and now people are saying this and that about Adam, and I've had a lot of, like, little opinions, and now I'm just kind of putting them all together so that they're out there. But overall, this didn't need to be a big deal, and I think that Adam's behavior has made it a bigger deal than it needed to be. Because again, he didn't know Alyssa. He didn't have any reason necessarily to know Alyssa. Did he need to do his research? I don't think so. Not in my opinion. So it could have, like I said, it could have just been in his next video or in a community post. Oh, I took that down. Apparently I didn't know anything about that Alyssa person. That's it. No apology needed. Hey guys, like, I was wrong. You guys educated me because I was apparently really wrong about this Alyssa person. Take it down. Move on. And if the audience had not moved on from that point, I kind of like being a hero. I can, like, walk around and take up space. If the audience did not move on after a move like that, then I would have been 100% on Adam's side. Like, stop flagellating Adam for not making a bigger apology or making a video about it. Like, it's Alyssa. We don't need more and more videos about Alyssa. If it's a Gabbie Hanna thing, fine, make videos about that. But a simple statement would have sufficed, and you just failed to do it. And again, it goes back to that ego. And I said this to a few people, and a lot of you guys who might be watching, if people are watching this, probably are familiar with the Dunning-Kruger effect, right? And I'm probably gonna do it backwards because of my perspective. But basically, that psychological phenomenon, I guess we'll call it, where there's a graph that shows what the y-axis is confidence. Let me see if I can do it this way. The y-axis is confidence, and the x-axis is experience, and it shows basically how a person's confidence changes with the amount of experience they have, right? Whether this be in a new skill they're learning or just in life in general, right? And so it kind of, please forgive me if I'm a little bit wrong, because I'm probably not gonna get the shape right, but basically you start down here, right? You have no experience, you have no confidence, and then you start to learn about this thing, whatever it is. And once you get a little bit of experience, you start to get to this, what I call the sweet spot of the Dunning-Kruger effect, where your confidence is disproportionate to your experience, but you've learned so much more than you ever knew, so you think you're an expert on this thing, and then you start to learn more, and the more you learn, the more you realize, oh wow, I really don't know as much as I thought I did, and then your confidence starts to come down, and then it starts to level off. I think, and I've said this about Adam several times, I just haven't said it publicly, I think he's at that sweet spot in life right now, and or just in how he manages his platform. For the most part, I think he's pretty responsible with his platform, so that's another reason to ask, like, what would incentivize him to really, like, I don't want to say like humble himself, but like change to change the way he approaches topics. Like he's pretty responsible. He doesn't typically, he's not, I wouldn't call him problematic, just to be clear. I don't think Adam is problematic. I just think he's a bit egotistical, a bit too egotistical to really handle situations properly if they call on him to just do something, just a little of something. And I'm probably going to catch a lot of hate because I hear that he does not handle it well when somebody disagrees with him, and here I'm doing that as somebody who doesn't like the kind of the conflict that being on YouTube created, and here I am. So we'll see. Maybe I'll change my opinion about conflict on YouTube and my involvement with it, or maybe this will go great. Maybe it'll blow up in my face. I don't know. I hope not. It's commentary, and at the end of the day, I'll start it with freaking Alyssa Perrine. I just think that this situation didn't need to be a big deal, but I do think it says a lot about Adam, and not his character, just his ability to speak humbly and be teachable. To speak humbly in the sense that he's willing to be corrected. I'm saying the same things in so many different ways. You should get the point by now. And I think he's smart, and I think that's another one of those things that contributes to a low bottom. The smarter you are, the harder it is for people to tell you that you're wrong, to correct you on how you're thinking about something. And then again, like the success, the money, the big platform, the praise, all of these things just keep feeding this voice in your head that's saying you're doing it right, you're doing it right, you're doing it right. And that voice is for the most part correct. He's doing this thing right. If he doesn't change anything, then he's going to continue to do well for a while. So I'm not saying that Adam is a bad person, or the problem with Adam McIntyre, or Adam McIntyre needs to change. I'm just saying that over time, it's going to get to a point where those same things that you've been doing stop working, and you're not going to know why. Like, why is it that people are starting to respond differently? I'm doing the same thing I've always done, and that's exactly why. It's because you're doing the same thing you've always done. You're holding the same opinions you've always held. I don't want to say too much like I know more about Adam than I do. I just, like, this one little thing, is kind of a microcosm for what I think is kind of how he handles information. Yeah, things are going to come crashing down if you don't remain teachable.
Okay, there are 4 minutes-ish left, and I was listening. I wasn't sleeping with wide open eyes. But what I want to say is that I do agree with almost everything she's talking about, and I feel that there are some phrases that are really, really, really useful, are really, really beautiful. And honestly, I really hope that Adam watches this video, maybe even privately, not on camera. Well, he can do whatever he wants, honestly, because I do agree with everything, and not everything. Wait, I do agree with the to be to be teachable, because it's important at every age. Doesn't matter if you're young, doesn't matter if you're old, doesn't matter if you're I don't know, older and older, doesn't matter. I do agree with the fact that everything that she said on Adam. I believe that if he has if he same thing that says Peter Monn very, very often, is that his channel is maybe the only one, maybe with D'Angelo, maybe um that they have a really big platform. Maybe there's another couple of channels, but I don't know the names, honestly, and I don't follow them. And if he gained so much success during the years, I believe that he's doing something right. Obviously, the learning curve is always there. We are always learning, we're always improving. We hope, I hope that we do. So I really hope that I do agree with on this, the fact that he should have handled everything in a little bit smarter way. But as I said, I think we should do a recap of everything, because at this point, I believe that it's so mad for a small thing like a Lisa Perrine situation. We build build it we built a massive thing over a nothing burger, because Alyssa Perrine made the video. Vangelina Scott responded, like, comment, like, watch the video. Then Adam did it. They both took it wrong, but Vangelina corrected herself, leaving all the videos up. Adam was having lots of backlash and he took down the video. Then he was in a period of time where he didn't want to, also because he was working at VidCon, he didn't and couldn't possibly address anything. I do agree on the fact that he could have just made a post somewhere, but as I said, honestly, I don't know if Adam ever made a post on YouTube. I never saw it. I don't know. I know that Peter Monn, for example, does it really, really often. But and then there's all the backlash started to come forward because he didn't address in a quicker way, and people were saying, oh, he doesn't want to address, but he needs to, but he took the video down. Then he did this live stream while being at VidCon, while going at VidCon, and he wanted to decompress everything, while in the meantime he was having all the like the Rachel Ballinger and Joshua David Evans thing coming, all the pressure growing, let's say. So I think that it was a moment in time where everything collided, and it wasn't taken good care of, and it quickly spiraled. But I do agree on the fact that he needed to apologize properly. I don't understand the fact that he is talking about the people say that I support like Gabbie Hanna or something. I don't understand that. I don't have an answer for that, but I have an answer for the comment that he made on the. I took the video down because Alice Perrine was having the fame that they always wanted, and I understand why he said that, because maybe on the line of Jen Dent's comment in the video, he was like, "No, you're not going to profit on my mistake." Let's say it would have been a better way to phrase this, probably. But this is just my opinion. I don't know anything for sure. I don't know these people.
And keep your opinions flexible. And I'm not purporting to be any sort of expert on that. I have problems with that. I have a lot of trouble with that. I think if we're being honest, most of us have trouble being corrected, being criticized. And
yeah, sure.
But you take it.
I think it's part of a human nature.
You decide whether or not it's valuable, and you can't really decide that every single bit of criticism or whatever it is not valuable. That's when it's a problem. Because you should, and that's something I struggle with too. There have been times where I'm like, none of this is valuable to me, and then there are times where I'm like, the people pleaser in me is really strong, or I'd be like, every single voice out there is valuable. It's equally valuable. It's equally valuable to mine. So this person says this person says this, and this and this and this, and all of those voices need to have the exact same platform as my voice, and that in and of itself is a problem too, because then you become a talking head for the popular opinion, and then you're swoop. So sorry I said that. I can't edit that out because I'm not editing this. I'm just rambling at this point, and that's what I do at the end of my video. So like, thank you if you're here listening to this. I just want to reiterate, Adam, you're not a bad person. Adam, I don't dislike you, but it's just a little bit weird that you said you took your video down for a reason that you didn't take your video down. In fact, you took your video down for the reason that we thought you should. Why did you do that? Legitimately, I have not at any point throughout this thing demanded an answer from Adam McIntyre, but I really want to know, why did you do that? Why did you say it was for that reason when it was for the reason we were asking you to? Is it because that kind of requires you to say I was wrong? You didn't need to be right, dude. You didn't need to be right. This was a situation involving a private person. You didn't need to be right. Like, that's why I'm saying, why did you let this become what it is? So yeah, why did you do that? And I almost think that the whole "I'm so sorry to Jen Dent, but this and that" was another way to avoid saying, "Hey, I was wrong about this. Oops." People taught me. I think it was just another way of avoiding that, because I think that acknowledgement, if I may, should have been broader, and it should have been to everybody who's ever been a victim of Alyssa and or her friends. I got this wrong, and so I shouldn't have sided with her so quickly, and then that would have spoken to all the people who've ever been wronged by Alyssa, who've ever witnessed wrongdoing by Alyssa. It would have kind of spoken to all of us.
Agree on that.
And like I said, if Jen appreciates it, great. But it kind of sounded like a cop-out to be like, I'm going to kind of give an apology, but then I'm going to defend myself right away. But the apology has to be to one person specifically. It can't be to everybody, because then I'm acknowledging I got it wrong overall. I didn't really take the time to really distill that into a cohesive way of saying what I wanted to say it. So I hope that somebody gathered exactly what I'm trying to get at and can put some more concise words around what I'm trying to say about kind of how gross it felt that he made a very specific apology to one person, and then backtracked on it completely. If he had just made an apology to Jen, then I probably would have like let it be and just been like, no, you kind of missed a couple of people. But it was a very flowery apology that almost sounded sarcastic, because he completely immediately launched into why he wasn't in the wrong. So yeah, I don't like how the situation was handled. It's not a huge deal, but sometimes I get opinionated and emotionally invested in things that are not that big of a deal. Which is, that's just the way the cookie crumbles, I guess. Whatever, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. So there goes my reel, another 40-minute video. Yay, hopefully somebody enjoyed this. And if you are still watching this 37 minutes in, then you, the one person who's watching, who's not me, thank you for sticking around this long and entertaining me and humoring.
No problem. Okay. So the opinions on this, I just honestly gave you. Mamma mia! Look at this hair. I'm Italian, by the way, so the mamma mia is that. I need to go and do yoga, so I will sweat like a pig. But the important thing here is to understand and honestly, I do agree on the fact that personally, as a follower, on a fan, I don't know, watcher, as a watcher of Adam McIntyre, I was, after watching Jen Dent's video, I was kind of waiting. Then I saw that he made that video, and I didn't saw that video, but maybe for the sake of this video, I'm going to watch it after the next video, which is from Jen Dent, because I really want to understand what he said, and I really want to watch what he said. We are not going to watch all the video because probably will be like 2 hours. We are just going to watch the beginning, because I believe that is there that he talks about this. And I'm, as a watcher, I was there waiting for his next move, because in some cases the way you act are more telling that the words that you say. So I was just waiting for him to do something. So yeah, we're going to watch this video and I will make up my mind. So next video is from Jen Dent. It's 7 minutes. I'm going to speed it. No, I'm not going to spit. Speed it up a little bit, because I don't know. It's only 7 minutes, but still.
So I lied when I said I wasn't going to talk about Gabbie anymore, because obviously the aftermath of this video has just made that necessary. And I'm sorry about the birds. This is just how it is. Before I get started.
Yeah, this is something that I wanted to talk about in the first video, in the video that I watched. If you watched it, you watch it with me. But yeah, she said that this is the last time that I want to talk about Gabbie, etc. But going through her video, her YouTube channels, there are many videos on Gabbiana, even before this. So I was like, maybe she just wanted people to take accountability, maybe. But then obviously after this, the video and Alice Breen and everything, I understand why she's making many videos on this. So
before this is a whole thing, I want to say to Adam McIntyre, I have nothing against you. I hold no ill will toward you. I have never been overly angry at you, nor have I demanded an apology, nor have I demanded a response, nor did I send anybody your way to harass you. But this has been turned into something that it absolutely did not need to be turned into. And that's on you, Adam. I'm sorry. That's on you. You have a channel of over 500,000 people watching you. And to my knowledge, you have gotten very upset in the past when people have platformed somebody that you didn't agree with. And I didn't watch any of that. I'm not interested in it, nor have I kept up with it. But I do know
She's
that
talking
even
about
made a
the
big
Johnny
deal
thing.
about Jessi and Lily platforming someone, and you say,
Girl. Okay, I have very until this point, I was like, yeah, it's his own fault, honestly, because he acted in a way he maybe he didn't thought like I'm going to address this video, I'm going to say something about that. He didn't thought that all this backlash was coming through, honestly, I believe. But this point makes me, it's like we just finished watching the HelloLeesh video, and now this, and obviously they both made the same point, and obviously we know that they're friends behind the scene, and obviously I believe they talk. So I already said my piece on the Johnny Silvestri, Jessi Lily, whatever. But I don't like this. I don't like the. Uh, I understand that maybe you share the same ideas, but it's pretty convenient, in my opinion. Honestly, I don't. Also, watch it. Just watching these videos back to back. Let's see. Let's see. Maybe she makes another
saying
point.
they shouldn't have done it and demanding an apology. The hypocrisy. I didn't send anybody to harass you at all. And I'm tired of you saying that, or your followers saying that, because I didn't do that. If you are embarrassed that you put a video up and platform somebody who is abusive and continues to be, now the narrative is that I was an abusive partner in a relationship, when that is the most horrific thing that I think has happened to me. I can't say in life, because that would make me a very lucky person, but it was horrible. And I have been in therapy for a year. I do have photos of things that happened to me. Like I said, they're none of anybody's
So fucking
business.
sorry
The
for that.
constant focus on the things that are not important. And that's
Yeah,
what you did,
I
Adam.
do
You
agree.
focused on that I had harassed you or abused you in some way. And you say you took the video down because Alyssa was bragging online about your attention that you were giving her. Well, she had done that for quite some time. It was a few days. So why did it take
I think this
affecting
is a
you by
YouTube
bragging
problem,
about
guys.
you for
Sorry.
you to take it down? It didn't matter what all it was doing to me, right? And also, I'm confused by this. If you took it down, I'm very confused.
Never once would I ever, in watching her video, ever criticize her the same way I wouldn't want someone to criticize me.
So that's what it's about. It's about that I criticized you. And you would never criticize anybody. Adam.
And then I posted my video and people responded very well to it. And then Jen Dent had posted being like, Alyssa is a bad person, like, and she has her issues with her. And so I deleted my video because I was like, oh, I'm not getting involved in this.
But you're already involved. What do you mean you're not getting involved? You're already
This is not my situation.
No, it's not your situation, but you platformed her to over 500,000 people, and you do it on these live streams where other people can't see it
Yeah,
unless
I
they pay
already
you to
talked
see
about
it.
this. No. I already talked about this. I don't agree. Just because I have a platform doesn't mean that I am giving these people the success and the fame that they don't deserve. People can make mistakes, so I don't agree on the fact that, oh, just because you platformed this person, you just because of you, this person is now famous. Because, as stated multiple times by everyone at this point, everybody knows Alyssa. Everybody knows what they've done. Everybody knows everything about this person. And I don't understand why, if everybody knows who they are, who Alyssa is, how is it possible that just because Adam talked in that video that was taken down, now this Alyssa is blessed? What's the truth? Either people know and people are have still the same idea, or either people, and I understand when Adam said in the live stream that people were siding with him, because probably the people siding with him, and honestly, if I saw the video of Adam, probably I would have, well, I've would say, yeah, but as I said, I would say like, oh, there's no accountability. This person, there's something that, same thing that I already said. But probably I would be like a little bit like, oh, I'm sorry, or something like that, not knowing all the behind the scenes, the bigger behind the scene. But I don't understand.
And then you leave it there for like a day or so other people can go out and say, well, he said this and he said that, and you're going to be upset. I don't need that shit in my life. I agree with what Peter said, that we need to keep this in context. We need to keep the conversation open so that people remember what happened. So when Gabbie comes back and tries to rewrite the future, I thought the bird was on the fucking couch. When you did the video about the 3-hour phone call recently, you said you had never heard it before. You've done videos about that in the past. Jessi was at Disneyland when you put this video up. Like, y'all don't think about that. You constantly use our story, and yes, I'm part of the story. I am a big part of the story. That's not me bragging. That's just after years of fucking being ignored, of being like, this shit happened. Does anybody remember this shit? Does anybody fucking remember this shit that fucking happened to me? And y'all don't fucking want to talk about me unless I call you out, and then you want to say I'm fucking bullying you. I'm fucking pissed.
I heard Alyssa out. I deleted my video.
Right, that's what you did. You're right. That's what you did. But then you came back and said that I bullied and harassed you. I left a comment that said, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm sorry, but the level of stress that I don't think people understand of years of this. And then I finally get the evidence that I need. And I finally put the video up, and I think this is it. But no, that wasn't it. Now I'm a bully, and I did something to you that I didn't do, and you know that. Instead of just saying I was wrong, I need to correct this and move on, you flipped it on me. You turned it into something on me. And it's really, honestly, in the grand scheme of things, not that big of a deal. But if I sit and think about it, it is. It is. It fucking is. I said in my video what I said. If the phrase infinite wisdom upsets...
I really think that, in my opinion, it feels a big deal for her. Which fair, honestly, fair, because after, as she said, many, many years, I come with this video. Maybe she was waiting for a redemption arc. She was hoping for a redemption arc. And now she says, oh, my story, after everything I showed, after everything I said, my story is now being like placed in the shadow because of everything that is happening with Adam. And I understand this. I understand that we need to focus on the important things. We need to focus on everything that happened, and we need to talk about that, things that I did in the videos, etc. But in the same time, also, I don't know if Adam says anywhere that she's showing clip, but she's not showing. Maybe she will. For what I saw now, she said that Adam is bullying. No, she said that Adam said that she's bullying Adam, but she's not showing proof. So now I need to go and look up for this, because I don't know where this happened and what was said on this matter, honestly. But I really think that as we all audience need to focus on the important matters. So what was done, what was said by these people. I do think that it just a suggestion. I'm a nobody on YouTube, honestly, and even if I had a platform, honestly, it's just a suggestion. Put it in the ether, let's say. So, but I really think that is time for Jen to go deep, because from what I can see here and in the other video, and I'm so sorry that she feels in this way, and I'm so sorry that finally she was having her, as I said, redemption arc, but then the focus shifted, and I understand feeling pissed off, feeling angry, feeling whatever, but I really think that if the audience need to focus on the important matter, I also think that maybe it's important to talk about this. It's important to talk about. I don't want to say just move on. No, because it's fair that you make videos on this. You make videos on how you feel about this, etc. But I do think that if you keep going on Adam, the focus will never be shifted because it's visible that you're angry at him for making this mistake. And I think that the audience right now is what I'm part of the audience. I'm doing this because I was interested. And I will tell you, I'm the kind of person that goes and researches and does stuff and everything. I was staying here while doing my animation for my channel. Um, I was here thinking I want to make this video while watching the videos of HelloLeesh and Jen Dent. Instead of saying I really want to go deep, I would really want to go deep and look up to see if there's proof anywhere. I don't know, on Twitter, on whatever, of what was said during that time. And I'm that kind of person. I am that kind of bitch that goes and like a scavenger, and that goes deep. Um, but instead, I was like, not because I'm a watcher, like I watch, yeah, I'm a watcher of Adam's products, let's say, but because I wanted to hear your opinion and HelloLeesh opinion on this saga, alternative saga. And it's important also to address the fact that to show this anger, like I appreciated the HelloLeesh video because uh, mm, if I watched that video as the person who, if I was at the place instead of Adam, I was there watching that video. It would have been a video where I could have learned something, where I could have maybe reflect. But by watching this video, only 7 minutes, and I'm only 5 minutes in, all I can tell and all I can see, besides the words, because the words, it's more the actions, it's more the demeanor, the faces, and etc. I can only tell, my only feeling regarding this video is the anger, the major anger that I can feel towards, not, and I don't believe that this is a misplaced anger, in my opinion, towards Adam, because Adam did you wrong on something that he didn't even know. Um, and it's not an excuse. It's not an excuse because you can fix your errors, as we said. But you are, in my opinion, taking your anger on someone that it's not the main focus here. It's not the target, let's say. We need to stay focused, all everyone, on the real issue, the real problem, because there were accusation pretty heavy. There were crimes, as Elolisha said. There were crimes, there were accusation, there were allegations. There are proof to prove that everything that was done was all lies. So I really think that we need to focus on that. You need to focus on that. And I really hope that your anger for Adam will find a way to, because anger, I think anger can be a useful weapon in order to reach a goal that you have. um but if you keep feeling this anger on Adam, I'm pretty sure, and this thing will keep going, like more videos and more. I'm not talking only about you, I'm talking about everyone else. More video, even this video. We are going always and always and always talk. We are going to always talk about the nothing burger, which is placing into the shadow the real important matter. And as I said, it's not that Adam, the fact that Adam didn't address it properly, it's an issue itself. In the same way, we have a bigger issue. We have a bigger. So also maybe just, I don't know if you did it. Honestly, I don't know if you did it, but to reach in private, to maybe talk on the phone, to maybe, I don't know, maybe you don't want to. I don't know. It's just my opinion, suggestion. I don't know. But to same thing that you did with Gracie, Gracie was a person that made you wrong back in the years, and now you were able to talk and to clear all this big mess, this big, not even mess, this big crime, honestly. So maybe like the same thing needs to be done here. I don't know, just a suggestion.
People so much. I'm sorry. Y'all focus on the wrong shit. I didn't demand any sort of response. Again, I said I didn't even think I would get one. I surely didn't demand one in any sort of time frame. And that was not the kind of response I expected, so I could have done without it. Listen, I've tried to be nice. I've tried to be just sit back, but like, I'm gonna need y'all to get off my dick. None of y'all are the victims here. Y'all want to be so bad, but you're not. And what I'm about to say is not to say I expected a response. Again, I said I didn't think I would get one. Again, I never asked for one at any specific time. I never demanded anything. But please stop using VidCon as an excuse to why you can't follow up on something when you're on your phone the whole time, when you could make a community post. If it's so important to come back and call me out for my actions, then I'm going to call you out for yours and let you know I've been to VidCon. Okay, I am a hospice nurse. At the time that all of this happened, I had 17 patients that are all dying by nature of the job. I cannot stop what I'm doing to handle shit like this. I was standing at the bedside of a patient with terminal cancer of the bladder, trying to fix a catheter that will never be fixed because he is on hospice. VidCon? VidCon. So this whole video was to say none of this was about Adam. None of this was about anybody but me.
I don't like this. I'm sorry. I don't like this. Because shifting the you can talk about, sorry, you can talk about your everything, and I said it, it's important to talk about everything that goes on in your life in order to make people like empathize with you and feel that you are not only a person on a screen but that you are human. And I'm really really sorry that you have been going on through this, and your patients and the people you're taking care of. I'm really really sorry. And at the same time, I'm really really sorry that we are again with the same things that HelloLeesh said. So I feel I feel that there's a big fil rouge here between these two women. Just speculation. Honestly, it feels like a shorter version than the HelloLeesh video at this point. But as I said, with anger, much anger, which is fair because you are the victim. As I said, you are the victim, and this is also why I'm telling you, let's shift that anger on the people who really are the culprits here. Because also saying that, and I don't want to say that it's really heavy here because she talks about her life and being the victim, etc. But as much as you're going through, to say that your life is more important than the other people's life, and then maybe you were a VidCon, whatever, like it's a chill thing, whatever. I don't like that. I don't like when, and personally, I'm thinking about me when people did it to me. I don't like that I don't like when people make this kind of compare, like, but I went through war and you were just staying on the bed. No, I don't like that. It's not fair. The things that you're going through doesn't mean that I'm not going through while staying on the bed, like mentally, or maybe, I don't know, on internet, or maybe the backlash, or maybe bullying, or maybe harassment, doxing, whatever. It doesn't matter. That it doesn't matter. It's not fair to make a comparison of life. It what it's hard for you, it can be even harder for someone else, or you know, I don't know. I'm sorry.
Does that upset y'all? Can I have this just for once? I'm not asking much. But for the muckers, leave me the fuck alone. Do y'all want to become what it is that you hate? Because you're well on your way. They agree. Fuck y'all. I'm sick of this shit. Okay, bye.
I stand with what I just said, honestly. I feel that there's and I'm really, really like, if after watching the HelloLeesh video, I was like kind of feeling like okay, in peace, because she made all the points really clear in a polite way. There were obviously many things, as you saw, that I didn't agree on, but that's okay. That's okay. Same thing that happens with everyone, Peter, Mon, whatever, Adam, whatever. But to be this, it's, I feel that there's like all the anger that she has, in my opinion, for all the things that were done to her, it's now shifted on Adam, because Adam just made a video mistaking the situation, and it did not correct it quickly. Instead of talking about all the things that were shown in the video, instead of keeping the spotlight on that. So I understand that he didn't respond quickly. He didn't give you the apology that you wanted, because it's clear that you want an apology. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here, in my opinion. It's clear that you would like that things would have gone in a different way, obviously. Um, but right now we are talking about something that it's not the focus. And also we are kind of dipping our feet in uh, things that are not right to say about people, and like the age thing, same thing that you don't want to be that you don't want people to do, like ageism, because you are older than Adam, and you don't want people to say things about your age. Same thing goes with younger people. You don't want to say things that, oh, you're young, like you don't know anything. I don't like that. I don't like that, honestly. Just let's talk human to human. I don't care, obviously, if it's a child, it's a child. Come on. But if you're an adult, and you're an adult to have a channel, have followers, you are an adult to have a conversation, I think. I don't like the, oh, you were at VidCon, but I was doing this, and this, which were really, really hard things. But as I said, to compare lives, it's not like, it's the same thing when people are, but those celebrities took their own lives, but they have everything. I don't like that. I don't like that, because it's really, in my opinion, it's a little bit egotistical, honestly. But again, all the things that you're feeling are valid, and all the things that you are experiencing are sad, because we really should talk about the real people that did really bad shit. So that's my take on this. I really hope that if there are new things coming up, like new videos, new things, it would be videos and things that go deeper into what happened. Go deep, sorry, armpits. Things that go deeper into all the lore, because also you need to think, you also need both Jen Dent and HelloLeesh, you also need to think that since it has been many years, when back, like right now, there are people who weren't in the fandom, they weren't there, they didn't know. We don't know me too, we don't know the lore, we don't know anything, we don't even know these people, who they are. So I believe that if you want to make some like videos, impactful videos on this, you should both come together. Same thing that you did on these videos, by the way. You should both come together, maybe also with Jessi. I don't know. You should both come together and give us like a recap of everything, lore, proof. If you have tweets, if you have screenshots, if you have, just give us everything that you have in order to keep this story alive. First things first, to keep these people accountable still, to let people that they don't know the lore and the facts, everything alive. Just give us everything that you have, also in order to feel, to let everything go, and to maybe feel a little bit, oh, a little less rage and anger. This is my take. Thank you for being at my TED Talk. Yeah, this is it. If you came this far, congratulations, you won nothing. You won an hour of talking. Subscribe, blah blah blah, everything you want to do, and we will see each other really, 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 really soon.
I don't even know half the shit that Gabbie has probably done. If we're continuously finding things out, like, how do you live like that? And the constant sending of private information to fans to enlist on your behalf is so fucking loser and disgusting, whatever. And I feel so unbelievably terrible.
The fun fact here is that after watching Jen Dent's video, by watching Adam for so long, I think they're like they would have liked each other, because the honesty that Jen Dent had in the video, it's similar to the honesty that Adam has. So it's ironic that they now have beef.
Now, here's what I want to say about this, right? I profusely apologize to Jen Dent for platforming Alyssa in any way, in any way. The work that we do on here, I think, is a little bit unfair to say, though, that I shouldn't respond to things so quickly, or, should take the time to look into things, because right before I left for VidCon, I said that I wasn't going to be streaming until I came back. And my entire comment section since being at VidCon has been, why won't you address this? And I literally did a live stream in which I said, we will address it. And I do think as well that it's a little bit, again, I'm going to get back to Jen Dent in a second, but can you see my perspective here on, it's incredibly frustrating that people were saying, and Jen Dent, that I don't take time to cover things, like I rush to cover things. And then I literally said that, hey, I'm traveling right now, I want to be able to cover this properly. And people are saying that I'm defending Gabbie Hanna, I'm running from the truth. I'm like, I don't think those two things can be true at the same time. I think it's unfair to say, that I cover things too quickly, which is what Jen Dent is saying. I think that is, I'm sorry, I think that is entirely unfair to say. And then whenever I literally take a week to cover it, because I'm not streaming at all, I said that I was working at VidCon and working my SIR event. I think to then say that because I'm not covering it, I'm defending Gabbie Hanna, is, those two things can't exist at the same time. I hope also people can understand that that is hypocritical. I don't understand what people want when they say that I'm covering things too quickly, but then whenever I'm not quickly responding to this, people are saying that I'm running from the truth.
Yeah.
Okay?
Fair.
I talked about this a little bit in my vlog, but I do believe that what Jen Dent said about me is unfair. I do. Jen, I'm unbelievably sorry for what Alyssa put you through. It's absolutely horrendous and absolutely horrible, and I have no idea truly the extent of what you've gone through, because I'm going to be watching your video now here. I'm taking the time to watch your video, and I literally have said that multiple times, that I wanted to take the time to cover this properly. I think that Jen and her fans, no joke, attacking me on every comment section, my vlogs, all of my other videos, for the last week and a half while I said that I've been working at VidCon and doing my SIR meetup, is, I think that is, two things cannot be true at the same time. You cannot say that I cover things too quickly and I don't do my due diligence, but then whenever I do, because I can't focus on doing all that, and then a quick stream in a hotel room about it, I just want to say first and foremost. Also, two, I do want to say as well that whenever it comes to Alyssa, and we covered the Alyssa video, the way that we work here is that people tell me whenever there's stuff going on online. Alyssa had made this video about leaving the Gabbie Hanna fandom and how Gabbie Hanna treated her so horribly, and that, she was enlisted to do all these things for Gabbie, and that she was used by Gabbie. And a lot of people are saying that, why did I want to cover that video? The reason I wanted to cover that video is because that was exactly what people looked at me when I first spoke up about Colleen Ballinger. And
Told you.
actually, on this
Told you.
thread, the people involved in this are comparing it to the Colleen Ballinger of it all.
Yes, exactly.
If I go into every story of someone speaking up as they're lying or
even Gracie said it. So it's pretty fair that he jumped on the train because it was something really close to his art, I think, his experience.
something will be exposed about them. That's what people did to me when I first spoke up about Colleen Ballinger.
Yeah.
I'm so glad now. I'm so glad now that we have the extra additional context to this. And I do believe that Alyssa's a horrible person, even from just what I've witnessed in Alyssa running with my video right before I deleted it of being like, guess who just got featured in an Adam McIntyre video? Well, that's not how you held yourself in your original
Okay. Now he said this. He's talking about what I thought he was thinking when he deleted the video.
video, Alyssa, so that's manipulative. And you deserve to be called out. I don't care if you're not an influencer. You were brave enough to make the video in the first place. And you were brave enough to do to Jen Dent what you did. So you deserve to be called out. There's no protection here. There's no protection on my behalf. No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So I do just want to clarify to people as well that I'm 100% on Jen Dent's side from just what I've seen. And Jen, I'm so sorry again for even just what I've read so far that you've gone through with these people. This was not the time that I was posting on the internet. I don't know any of this history, and I'm now diving into that history. And you have expressed your frustrations with me that I post too often and I don't take my time to cover things and look into things. I actually did with this one, and I still got backlash with it. That I was hiding from the truth, or I didn't want to cover it, or I didn't want to own up to platforming Alyssa. Again, I just want to clarify that so many people on the internet right now are literally comparing Alyssa's first video to my video with Colleen. And again, whenever I covered that, was I nice to Alyssa? Yeah, because if you go back, well, it's deleted now, but if you were to have gone back in that, the amount of people, the comment section were all people comparing it to my original Colleen story of the being used, being enlisted to attack people. And I guess there's elements of what Jen is saying, which is, Alyssa was attacking her, and Alyssa was saying that Gabbie wasn't listening to her to do things, right? You can say as well, not to the extreme, of me posting in forums on Colleen's behalf and stuff like that. I'm very protective of when people speak up in general about these parasocial, and that's why I got so passionate in that original Alyssa video, because there were so many parallels with my first Colleen video. And what happened with my first Colleen video, everyone called me a liar, and everyone said that I was manipulative and all of the rest. So I do take the time, other than probably a lot more than other people would do, to hear people out. And you know what? I now know the context, and I now know that Alyssa has done some pretty horrid shit. And when Alyssa started gloating about the fact that I'd covered her video, I deleted my video.
Exactly.
And again, Jen, she wasn't a Meghan Trainor fan. Okay, please, please.
So again, this is part of the lore. So this far, honestly, I don't know if it happened in other videos, but so far I didn't heard, I'm sorry, but I heard many, many times that he's sorry. And the only thing that he's against of are the fact that people came for him when he was like Jen said, you're covering things too fast, take your time. And then now that he wasn't available to cover these things, people were saying, you don't want to cover these things fast enough. So mainly this. And then he obviously said what I believe everyone who follows him, who watches him, even once in a while, they know his past because he doesn't talk about that. Not as much as when like in 2023 when this whoop dog and everything came back. Right now he doesn't talk about that willingly, let's say, and maybe if something happens, but it's obvious that a victim as I said, a victim of grooming, abuse, harassment, whatever, a victim of whatever will be more open to listen another person that declares themselves as a victim too of the same thing. I think it's natural. I don't know. So until now, I didn't heard I'm sorry, but